Welcome. So for the beginning of this meeting, just sit comfortably and welcome yourself, welcome your experience without reference to the past, without any reference. A simple, pure, fresh moment of being, of presence, which is not trying to attain anything. It's just resting as itself without defining yourself in any way. So that the body-mind is restful, effortlessly restful. Not trying to do anything. Not trying to figure anything out. Simply not knowing. Which is not something that you need to know. In a way, not knowing refers to our natural way, restful not knowing, resting presence, awareness. Not complicated. And in this restfulness, there is no me or you, no separate beings or separate characters. This presence is neither female nor male. One could say it's alive, but not an object. The aliveness of being, the amness, the fullness, sometimes we say the full emptiness. Being presence, but not being somebody in time, not being a person, a mother, a father, son, daughter. But the eternity of being, the beingness which is not an appearance in time and space. It takes on the form of this appearance, but remains transparent, remains non-phenomenal. And throughout your entire experience, being is presence. Awareness is formless, transparent. Borderless. The peace of being. At the heart, at the core of being is the peace, which is gateless. It's a gateless peace. It permeates your entire experience once you allow it to. Once you do not restrict or constrict the peace with your beliefs about who you are, beliefs about how things should be. Beliefs about how others should behave. And the core belief that I am a person, that I am a material form, overlooking the reality of consciousness. Imagining consciousness to be a concept, or to be some personal experience, which it is not. Consciousness is the reality of experience. Thoughts appear within consciousness, within awareness. Consciousness does not arise from a thought or from a feeling. Some people say, all there is this. And their personhood is hiding behind these statements. Their sense of me. Their storyline is important to them. It becomes a new subtle identity. Very tricky. The piece of being is not personal. Because there is no person, in fact. Outside of the belief and feeling that we take for evidence that there is a person. A stream of thoughts and a stream of feelings. But in fact, there is never has been a personal consciousness. Yes. Never was and never has been or never will be a personal freedom, personal peace, because it's never been a person. The revelation that there is no person opens the gate. Which has always been open. In fact, there's never been a gate. The gateless gate from what to what, from where to where. From a troubled mind to a peaceful mind. From confusion to tranquility, to clarity. From a sense of concern to deep satisfaction, causeless. What stands in the way? Is there a hurdle that we're trying to jump over? And who's jumping over the hurdle? What is this hurdle? Something that appears to you how could anything that appears to you be a hurdle to your very being, to your own knowingness? I am the reality which perceives, the reality which is the reality of consciousness. Each moment is a fresh moment. causeless freedom, joy of being. Okay, so if you have any questions, please make sure you unmute your mic, and welcome to turn on your video. So any questions? Hey, Chris.
Hi, Magdi.
Hi.
This one keeps coming back, so I'll ask it. On the most fundamental level, does suffering require thoughts?
Thought is a cosmic event. The universe thinks via particular body minds. It thinks various thoughts. They appear to us. Thoughts appear to us. So what we refer to as suffering or ignorance is this belief and feeling of being restricted, of being limited, of being mortal, of things happening to me. Oh my God, am I going to survive? Is my family going to be okay? Is my life going to be okay? So the ignorance and the unhappiness, and what we refer to as suffering, is this sense and feeling of being a limited mortal consciousness being that somehow depends on the body mind, depends on the world for its happiness, for its joy, for its freedom, for its celebration. And if you take a look at the thoughts, there are some impersonal thoughts. Yeah, I'd love to attend satsang. I'd love to travel, to visit the Catskills or go to the Adirondacks, or love to invite friends for dinner. These are thoughts that are happy and celebratory. They are impersonal thoughts. But there is a thought that has a me belief in it. There is a thought of what is going to happen to me, or why did she or he speak like this to me or act like this towards me. There is a me belief. There is a belief. It's a thought, but it's also a thought that is based on is not based on evidence. You know, like the thought, gee, my car is a brown Toyota. It's in the garage. There is evidence. You can go check in the garage, and yes, your car is, you know, what the thought somehow resonated. But when you go and look for the me as this car, kind of car, you don't find it. You only find thoughts and feelings and memories and images. You don't find actual me, actual me. So which I think that maybe Ramana was referring to that as the I thought, not just any thought, but the I thought. So it's a thought that has in it a belief and a feeling, of course, which is a type of thought that's anchored in the body at the feeling level, that I am somebody. I am. You know. So thought is not the enemy. The contemplation is in the belief that the I thought is in fact valid. The I thought being that I, meaning consciousness, is personal, is limited. It depends on the body, or is inside the brain as a result of the brain activity, or is a result of the mind. That is the investigation, the Atma Vishara, the inquiry into the what am I, is the inquiry into on what basis, what is the evidence that I, or consciousness, is limited, dependent on the body-mind, and is a result of a certain cause. Because the thought, it'd be lovely to go to the beach, you know, it's an okay thought, it's a beautiful thought. You may go to the beach, you may not go to the beach, you may end up just staying at home, reading a book. But the thought, I have to go to the beach, and if I don't go to the beach, you know, God, it's going to be a really bummer of a day, is a thought that has in it an I, some I, whose happiness, an assumed person whose happiness depends on going to the beach. And what if it rains? Then you are unhappy. What is this you that is unhappy? It's this process of believing that that happiness is phenomenal, that there is a phenomenal reality that can fulfill happiness, that can provide you happiness. So I wouldn't struggle with thoughts. Thoughts are universal. Awareness, consciousness appearing, awareing thoughts. Images about beautiful friends, images about some creative thoughts, about things you would like to create, you would like to celebrate, would like to explore. Memories about friends and times when you know, that appear to you. They appear to you. What harm can anything that appears to you do to you? Because what appears to you appears and disappears. It's phenomenal. And the you is this open, aware, borderless space. You're not If thoughts about fire arise, you don't burn. If thoughts about drowning arise, you don't drown. If thoughts about snow arise, you're not cold. Your awareness. If an experience of a feeling of cold appears to you, you're not cold. The body is cold. There are sensations of coldness appearing to you, appearing to awareness. If there is hunger, it's your body that's hungry. So they appear to happen, those feelings of sensations and the thoughts about nice meal, really nice to have a great soup, it appears to you, but you're not hungry. Your awareness conscious is not hungry. The image appear to you, and then you're cooking soup, or you're ordering a soup, or you're going to the local cafe or restaurant and having a sandwich. The you is not the I thought. The you is the reality which perceives right now, which is, you don't depend. I do not depend on perception. I perceive, there is a perception I perceive. This perception that I perceive is not apart from me, it's co-created. But anyways, the point is that I don't depend on the perception. Perception appears. It may tell me was be a good idea to, travel to Italy and like that, whatever. So no, the thoughts are not the fundamentally or non-fundamentally related to ignorance, unhappiness, or suffering or misery. There's a particular thought, a particular type of thought, which is a belief. Now, having said that, the experience of our true nature has two aspects to it. One of them is no thought. It's this presence, this pure presence that does not think, that does not do anything, which is our true nature as a stillness, our true nature in the absence of movement, in the absence of activity. The other aspect of our true nature is activity, meaning awareness in the presence of objects, its own creativity. Objects being its own creativity, not being some external reality, an objective reality, no. Objects simply refer to the movement of consciousness. Consciousness has those two aspects, the stillness and in the movement. In the stillness, it's peace, or no mind. And in movement is joy, or mind, celebratory mind. Like the joy we feel when we're watching a sunset or the sky, or we listen to the birds singing, or we hear the local brook, the local stream. Or the sound of traffic. It's pretty magical. When we are listening freshly, not from the past, not from any conclusions. And it's pretty magical. It's really quite a wonder. So then the I thought is not to be noticing whenever you're thinking of yourself as only oneself, only thinking of yourself as of consciousness, as ... as Chris, as whatever way you're thinking of yourself. This is when you need to say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I am that which perceives the thought. I am not determined or defined by a thought which appears to me. You see what I mean? Yes? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right. So you remain being, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, being, yes, but being not knowing. Not knowing refers to you're not knowing yourself as whatever. Somehow the mind doesn't trust not knowing. It wants to constantly fill the emptiness. It doesn't trust not knowing. It says, oh, no, oh, that's good. Okay, now I know not knowing. Now I can use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that one.
Yes. Practice not knowing.
I've got this. I often go through the experience of, oh, I understand now. I got this.
Yes.
And then I suffer, and then I realize, oh.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of a humbling wake up again.
Right. Because in understanding, there is no one who's understanding. Mm-hmm. There's just understanding. That's really the beauty of understanding, is that there is no one. So there is no one who needs to remember it or do anything about it or package it or rerun it. In understanding, there is no one who understands. There is just understanding. Understanding is, one could say, as a metaphor, it's God who's understanding herself. I mean, it's just language. There is understanding is below their mind. There is no mind radar that can detect understanding. There's no mind in understanding. The mind gets affected by understanding, but the mind that says, oh, I understood, now I'm going to blah, 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 that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
We can express the understanding, in mind words. And say, well, now I understand. I understand that what I believed myself to be was just illusion, a lot of thoughts, and that's okay. That's just an expression. It's not the mind that's trying to grasp the understanding. It's just an expressing. Oh, I've been altered. What I was before and what I am after is a little difference there. Before the understanding, mind A. After the understanding, mind B. But in many cases, the understanding goes below the radar, that even the mind isn't aware of the understanding, or when the understanding happened, or what was the understanding. Francis often uses the metaphor of like when you have a headache and you take a Tylenol, you don't know exactly when the headache stopped. At some point you realize, well, that headache from this morning isn't, or from an hour ago isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
In some traditions, they vilify thought. They make thought a big enemy. They hear about no thought or no mind, and then they think, well, that's it, I'm gonna eliminate thought. And so they do these practices to eliminate thought. And I mean, it's a thought that to eliminate thought is in itself a thought. It's a belief that there is somebody who can, if I do something, a certain specific thing, then I will get there. Well, whatever there is. Okay, Chris, yes?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, I just saw your message, Holger. Any questions? Patrick, did you just unmute yourself? Yes. Hi, Patrick. Let me see if I can hear you.
You can hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
My question is this, with a heavy heart, my father-in-law passed today and my wife is obviously very upset. And I'm just wondering if you have any advice for how to help someone who's grieving, other than the obvious ones of being there and being present.
Yes, I think to be present to them, to allow them to grieve and not to interfere, with their grieving process, and to sort of be available as a space for them if they needed to visit, come and rest and share their grief or express whatever they feel like they would like to express. The place that is, of course, not threatening, and this open, loving space available. Oh. So there is love in grief. There's a certain tenderness in grief. It's a beautiful process in a way that is an expression of our intimacy, of our oneness and our love. Love for everything, and of course, in this particular case, our love for the love that we shared, with the father, a friend, a parent. Just to be watchful not to bring your own mind or your own feelings, your own interpretation of that. Of course, you also, in a way, are also feeling the grief, because grief is there in the space, so you're also feeling the grief. So it's a shared grief in a way. It's a sharing of the grief. It's there. And the love is there, of course. Wherever there is grief, there's love. There's also a certain peace in grief. As long as we don't introduce the me story. Why did this happen? Why did this happen to me, to us? That's a different thing. And if that arises, why is this happening? Not to engage into it, not to go in that direction, in the direction of the mind wanting to bypass the grief, wanting to, I don't know, make some story, some personal story. It's the entire universe that's grieving. It grieves all the time. It's part of the universal expressions. There is a saying that which is never ceases to be, and that which is not has never come into existence. Well, more or less, I'm probably, not making the really do, not expressing it maybe correctly, but something to the effect that which is never ceases to be, and that which is not has never come into existence. So with your wife, you remain spacious, as much as you can, as best you can, you remain spacious to her, and available in whichever way it works. But also not to turn grief into any sentimentality. Well, I don't know, that just arose. Sometimes we wallow into grief. We just sort of like to. Anyways, that happens too sometimes. We like to do a rerun sometimes. Because we like it. We like grieving. There is some aspect of attraction.
Yeah, the addiction to drama.
Yeah, there is that. And sometimes there is a sense of me around grief that develops, you know. An emotional, emotionality. You know,
Yeah, I think that's the fine line, right? Is to be present without reinforcing the drama of.
Yeah, it's true of everything in our life, really. So many things that unfold in our life, and then the me comes in to weave some sort of additional fat.
So it's not so much about what I say, it's just about being present.
Yeah, and also whatever you say, where you say it from, from where you're sharing what you're sharing. I mean, obviously you're gonna be saying some things, you know. There is saying whatever we share doesn't mean there are no presence. It can come from, you know, from your heart. It can come from your love, you know. So you can share things, whatever, you know, it comes from your love, from your heart, from your understanding, not from a personal intention. Whatever is impersonally comes to you.
Yes, thank you so much. These are all good reminders and pointers, and I feel she's taking a long hot shower right now, and I feel compelled to go check on her.
Yes. Okay, Patrick. Yes.
Thank you so much, Magdi.
Yeah, sure. Nice to see you. Okay. My best to your wife.
Thank you.
Hi, Magdi.
Yes. Hello. Fernando, ¿cómo está, Fernando?
Hola.
Hola, Fernando.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, I do. I do hear you.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. I see your painting in the back. Yes.
Yes, I'm in the studio now.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
I'm sorry I didn't join the satsang because I was not very well organized with my schedule, but now I'll try to join more often.
Okay.
I see in my screen, notice it says rec. Is yours or mine? I don't know.
What does it say?
Recording, and it's red.
Right now it is recording.
Okay. So it's yours. So
yes,
because I was asking because I don't want to fool my phone with too much megabytes or gigabytes.
No,
okay.
it's recording here.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
But I don't see your screen, so I don't know. Oh, okay. I see. Yes, the red dot. Yeah, that means this is being recorded here.
Okay, great.
And I send the link later.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice to see you.
Good to see you after a while. Yeah.
Same here. Yes.
How was Costa Rica?
Oh, Costa Rica was very
the retreat.
Yes, we spent 10 days of retreat in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
It was very packed, very, very busy.
Yeah. No, it's so beautiful. I remember that the retreat some years ago. It was so good.
We went to Maria Hahn's. We had a day of starts on like Maria Hahn's Eco Village, Eco
Oh, it was
Eco
not with
Villa.
Jenny.
Yes, we did at Jenny. I think 4 days at Jenny,
Uh-huh.
4 days at the retreat center in I forgot the name of the village, and
Okay.
and 4 days at Jenny's, and 1 day at Maria Hahn's Eco Village, and 1 week
Great.
at her restaurant in San Jose.
Wonderful.
Yes, yes.
Very good.
Very lovely. I see you are quite busy painting. You've been
Oh yes,
Quite
yes.
good. Yeah.
I try to come to the studio at least 5 or 6 days a week.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and painting big
Yes.
paintings like the one is in the back.
Yes.
That's
yes.
part of it because it's,
Yes.
it's a bit larger. I
Yes.
cannot show you.
Right. I've been seeing them on your Facebook page. You know, I've been seeing
Yeah,
very, very lovely paintings. Yes.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? Well, it's very lovely to be with you and to see you. I always enjoy seeing you. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you all. Be well.
Thank you, Magdi.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you.